A Louisiana teenager has now been indicted on federal hate crime and conspiracy charges. He's accused of displaying a noose from the back of a pickup truck to threaten and intimidate civil rights marchers in Chino, Louisiana. Sean Calebs joins us now from New Orleans with the very latest on this case. Sean, what do you know?
Well, this 18-year-old is certainly in a great deal of trouble right now. He had been facing charges basically since the day of the march back in September 20th, but 4 months later now, federal authorities filing hate crime charges as well as civil rights violations against Munson. Now, this happened long after the march in Gina. We all remember that back on September 20th. Some 20,000 people pouring into that community demonstrating very peacefully. Now, what Munson did, he apparently drove down the street in Alexandria, Louisiana. That's about 30 miles from Gina, and this happened long after that very peaceful march had ended. He was driving with someone who identified himself as a member of the KKK, a juvenile, and Munson had two makeshift nooses hanging from the back of his pickup truck. Now, in the indictment, it reads that Munson drove by and glared at a group from Tennessee who were at a bus stop on their way to reach the bus to go back to Tennessee. So that is the civil rights violation. And Linda, this is very serious. If he's convicted on the hate crime charge, he faces a year in prison. If he is convicted of the other count, he faces 10 years in prison. So this is a very serious.
You're right, it is a very serious charge. Sean, I'm remembering when we covered this initially that there was a second person in the truck. Was that person a minor?
Right, that person was a minor. That person is not being charged with federal hate crime, civil rights violations, or anything else connected with that. I want to read you a bit about what Al Sharpton said, too. We have a statement. Sharpton's a very vocal critic. He's been following the whole Gina 6 saga for months now. In it, he praises the Justice Department for what it did and said, if they had prosecuted the white students that hung the noose in Gina, we may never have had to raise the national outcry that we did, because our protest was over why some are prosecuted and others are excused. And what he's referring to, at the start of the school year, 3 nooses were hung from a tree at Gina High School. Those nooses were hung by 3 white students. They were punished by the school district, but Linda, they never faced any kind of criminal charges. Now, the U.S. Attorney Donald Washington, I spoke with him earlier today, and he says they were juveniles, and basically there is a very strict set of guidelines that leads to a hate crime or civil rights violation under federal guidelines, and juveniles, it is almost impossible to convict them of hate crimes.
That is very interesting. I didn't realize that. Sean Calebs, thank you.